So we have seen the difference between hearing and listening. Knowing the difference between hearing and listening is important because developing listening skills is very much important in order to become a good communicator. See, you might get a doubt how listening skills are related to speaking skills, how listening skills are important in order to become a good communicator. See, in order to prove this point that listening skills are very mandatory in order to become a good communicator, I've considered a topic. I've considered a simple example, LSRW technique. Okay, this technique, LSRW technique, it is not just applicable for English. Forget about English language. You have set up for learning any language in the world. You have set up for learning Spanish, German, or Japanese, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, whatever it is, apart from your mother tongues. See, you set up for learning any language in the world, you have to follow this technique. In order to become a good communicator of any language, not just English, but any language, one has to follow this technique. What is this technique? LSRW technique. L goes for listening, S goes for speaking, R goes with reading, W goes with writing. So as we are discussing about the same, it is a common sense, we can get this. L goes for listening, S for speaking, R for reading, W for writing. So developing, learning, using or applying this particular technique called LSRW technique in order to become a good communicator of any language is very important. See, LSRW technique. In order to learn any language completely, in order to become a good communicator of any language, one has to follow this technique. One has to come from this side. One has to learn how to listen a language properly. Then he has to come for speaking, then for reading, then for writing. I'm telling you once again, this is the technique and how it has to be followed. It has to be learned from this side, any language. Every person who has to become a good communicator of any language, they have to start with listening, then he has to come for speaking, then for reading, then for writing. Unfortunately, we come from this side, in a reverse way. We started with writing, then reading, then speaking, then listening. I'll prove this. See, consider a small baby of 1 year or 1.5 year old. They'll start speaking then. They'll first listen. A baby who is 1 year old or 1.5 year old, what they'll do is all 1 year long they'll listen to his mother. They'll listen to their mothers, a father or sister, brother, whomever surrounding them. They'll first listen. They'll try to understand. They'll try to perceive the sounds. They'll first listen. Then they'll speak. They won't write or they won't read. They'll try to speak out. They first listen to their parents. Then they try to speak out. Then they'll come for reading. How? Reading out means not just reading from the book or reading from any notes. They'll just see the charts. See, people when they're small kids, when they're joined into schools, they'll be given oral. They'll be given oral of rhymes. They'll be given oral of fruits, vegetables. They'll have all the charts. They'll just see the charts and they'll just read out. This happens then. Then they'll come for writing. They'll start writing A. They'll start writing B in slates or in some notebooks. They'll write in the last step. So, considering mother tongues, let us consider a small baby who is 1 year or 1.5 year old. The baby listens first, listens to his mother, listens to its mother. Then the baby speaks. Then the baby grows up to 4 years or 3 years old. Then the baby goes to school. They'll read out. They'll go with oral. They'll identify all the charts. They'll see the vegetables. They'll see the fruits. They'll identify and they'll just speak out. They'll just read out by seeing the charts. So reading happens. Then writing happens. This is why we are all able to speak or we are all able to communicate in our mother tongues properly, because Whereas our mother tongues are considered, we come from this way. We'll start with listening, we'll then go for speaking, then for reading, then for writing. Whereas English is concerned, we'll start it from this side. We'll write first, we'll start it with A, B, C, D. Then we'll go for reading. And these two doesn't come. We always lag with speaking and listening skills. See, one more example I'd like to mention is that we South Indian students, especially South Indian students, we are very good at reading and writing skills. We're too bad with speaking and listening skills. You may agree with this, that you're bad at speaking skills, but I can prove you're bad at listening skills also. Why can't we listen? You don't listen there, you just hear. Listening, when listening happens, the whole context must be in your brains, but it is not happening. I'd like to give you an example. See, whenever you sit up for seeing a Telugu movie, you don't go through the subtitles. You can multitask. You can write notes and you can see the movie, or someone comes and interrupts you in between, you can continue later on. But whereas English movie is concerned, you sit up for seeing an English movie, how beautiful the heroine might be, how handsome the hero might be, playback music or whatever can amuse you, but you won't concentrate either on heroine or hero or background music or background scores or whatever it might be. You'll be just concentrating only on the subtitles. I'm telling you, you will concentrate on subtitles. That means you're not listening an English movie, you're reading out the subtitles. But you will be in a trance that you're watching a movie, you're listening to an English movie, but you'll never do that. You'll never listen to an English movie, you'll just read out the subtitles. Hence it is proved, whereas your mother tongue is concerned, you've set up for watching a movie in Telugu, you won't read out subtitles. We won't read out. We'll just listen to the dialogues. We'll enjoy the movie. Whereas English movie is concerned, you will not listen. You'll just read out the subtitles. Someone comes and disturbs you for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, forget about the movie, you won't understand the next part because you have skipped reading the subtitles. Hence, I can prove you're very poor at listening skills. You're good at reading and writing skills. We South Indian students, we are very good at reading and writing skills, whereas we are not good at listening and speaking skills. I can say you, this technique has to be followed in order to become a good communicator of any language. So in order to become a good communicator, to speak English properly, first step is to listen it properly. Listening is not just confined to perceive the sound, to receive the sound. The sounds which you receive and perceive has to be understood properly. They have to be understood properly. So in order to become a good communicator, one has to listen properly, then come for speaking. It is very clear with this technique called LSRW technique. You have to first develop listening skills in order to become a good communicator, in order to speak properly, in order to communicate properly. Hope you have understood this particular technique. Finally, what I would like to say is, in order to learn any language properly, not just confined for English, to learn any language, one has to come from this side. One has to develop their listening skills first, then speak, then read out, and then write. Unfortunately, we come from this side and it is wrong. Hope you have understood the difference between hearing and listening. It is not just hearing that we have to develop, it is about listening skills we have to develop. And with this technique of LSRW, it is very clear that one has to develop listening skills before developing communication, before developing speaking skills. Hope you have all enjoyed this particular video. Please be in touch with this playlist of my YouTube channel for further updates on new syllabus proposed by Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education for first semester students, which comes in effect from 2020 to 2021. Please do like and share my videos and subscribe my channel for further updates on communication skills and personality development, and also the new CBCS pattern framework, new syllabus proposed by semester 1 for all universities in common and for all courses in common proposed by Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education. Have a great day. Bye.